Hi everybody! Welcome to Thursday in the middle of, again, quarantine. She Built This City DIY workshops. If you're out there, since I do have a camera person, I don't see what everybody's comments are, so he's gonna do his best job trying to tell me what's going on. But please shout out, wave at us, say where you're from, welcome, we're happy to have you. And we do right now our She Built This City workshops online. We have a new YouTube channel, so look for us where She Built This City on YouTube, where all of these are archived if you miss one. Our schedule is Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 12:30. So it could be a kid-friendly project or it could be more adult-friendly project in terms of just advanced. And I say advanced, all of these are beginner projects. It depends on if it uses a drill or needs parental supervision. So this one today is kind of mid-range. We're doing string art fun. So I'll tell you why. This can be for kids. I would recommend parental supervision just because we do have a hammer and nails. I've got a 20 ounce right now. That's my favorite size. For kids, you can do a 16 ounce hammer. It just means the weight of the hammer. So it helps the nails go into wood a little easier the heavier you go, all the way up to 32, 34 ounces for framing and finishing on a job site. So don't need more than like a $5 to $7 hammer. I use Craftsman tools from Lowe's, proud supporter, and we also love their tools. So today, what we're doing is string art. So what you can do is, this is my finished project, so we had a lot of fun with this. I did an ombre. If you know me, or you're getting to know me, I love spray paint. And we love, thanks to our Builder Girls Club, so we serve 4 or 3 populations at She Built This City. In normal circumstances, we're in schools, or we're in our workshop, or we're out in the community doing these, not in our garage, but during the quarantine and COVID-19 and coronavirus, we're social distancing and coming to you live and or via YouTube. So in our Builder Girls Club, they love to use spray paint, and they have taught us some cool techniques with spray paint. So this is actually 3 colors of spray paint. We use Krylon brands from Lowe's Home Improvement, and it's purple, it's the high vis pink, which seems to be a favorite of our Builder Girls Club, and just a regular pink. So you can do all kinds of things. I've got Maisie, she's my teenage daughter here. She has helped, and she chose a blue. So she just did a straight spray painted blue. And then I've also got a natural sample for you. So this is just scrap wood that I had. You can always find wood at Lowe's as well. They can pre-cut for you if you have a specific size, because this is super simple. All you're gonna need is some kind of a base. So it can be wood, it could be a stump, it could be something else that as long as you can hammer into it. That's why wood is typically the best for this as a base. You don't want cement, you're not gonna hammer into that. But you can find things from reused materials too. So backyards, go scavenging for a cool base. I love to find things in the natural environment, so it's adaptive reuse. All you need for this project is that base. So we're doing it with wood. Could be any thickness. Actually, the thicker the better. So this is a pretty thin plywood that I had, and I just had to be careful. I think this is 3-ply plywood. I had to be careful with my nails, how far that I nailed in. So again, parental supervision. You need a base, you need nails, and you need some kind of string. So I had all of these laying around because I crochet in my spare time. Don't really have that right now, but this is just yarn. You could use twine, you could use yarn, you could use any kind of string. I wouldn't do a really thick rope, but you can just try out different things you might have in your house to start out with, or order some yarn online right now. So yarn, string of some sort, twine, nails, and a base, and a hammer, and you're pretty much done. And then all you do, so for nails, just to be specific, I don't necessarily want you to go out and order these. I had drywall nails hanging around. What I like about this is you could use finish nails. This is 1 3/4 or 1 3/8 inch drywall nails. What I like about this, it typically will nail drywall to wood, but it also, in a pinch, for projects like this, it's a little more than I really needed, but I like the heads on these nails. So if you can zoom in on that, you can see it's just easier for my string to wrap around that. And I wanted to make an actual outline, so I literally wrapped all the way around afterwards. And that's a lot easier to do when you have a nail that actually has a head versus a finish nail, which is just straight up and down. So whatever nails you do choose, again, this is a little longer than I need. A finish nail is about half that size, and that's really all you need here. You just want to make sure it's one that has a head to it. And again, box of nails, couple bucks. You don't need all these nails. You can get a small bag of nails. Depends on how many kids you have or how many projects you want to be completing, because this can be for adults too. So we've got a couple of them in different scenarios. Maisie has already gone ahead and done all of her nails, so I'll get to her. She's doing her yarn work right now. This is where we start. So what you start with is your design. So this was freehand. This was my other daughter, Willa, did an M. We freehanded this heart that you see here. Just a typical process that you would use in school if you were folding a piece of paper in half. I did half of my heart. I put it up to the window, flipped it over so it was like a light box, and I just traced the other half. I didn't even have to cut it out. You tape it straight width. I like to use painter's tape because that doesn't take up any, especially if it's a painted surface. This one's natural, but it won't take up any of your paint if you've gone ahead and spray painted. So you just tape that down. You can use a tape measure if you want to be super exact on your wood and super centered. You could do a couple of these on here. We kept it simple for this. Willow went ahead last night and did most of her nails, and you can see from the side, not necessarily beautiful in terms of hammering technique. So some of them are a little farther in than others. At the end of the day, this is going to be facing forward. So this is why moms and dads, for the younger kids, it's not something that has to be perfect. What's important is their final design that pops off of the wood. So this is more important than having, perfectly aligned nails. You can easily just kick these back with a hammer. If I see a couple that are really just off base, you can kick those back in. So I would suggest that parents do that for the kids if they're younger, under the age of 10. Maisie was doing it herself. If you're 10 and above, they can be kicking these back. If we were in Builder Girls Club, they'd be doing this in middle school by themselves. So it's good, just basic hammer and drill skills. So, or what we call hammer and drill skills. So hammers, nails, easy stuff so that it builds into other projects with them and just gets them creatively exploring. So again, we just went straight into our outline. So that's what Willa did last night. I recommend that you keep it about quarter to a half an inch apart, because remember, you're going to take, these were a little closer that I used last night, and you could play with this based on how artistic you want it to look. I like a good, especially for younger kids, because when you don't have as much dexterity to be doing the yarn work, like Maisie's are very close together. She really wanted to do an Eiffel Tower. So the older kids can do that a little bit easier than the younger kids. So if you have younger kids, maybe space it out a little more. And then that gives you space to do the looping around. So what I'm gonna do is finish, since this is not as sturdy of a table, we have our lovely Craftsman workbench coming Monday. It's being delivered Monday. So we're super excited that we will have someplace to actually do this work for real rather than a rickety table. I'm just gonna finish her 2 nails so you can see. She already took these out for me, so I'm gonna finish those in. So it's super simple. Again, hammering technique for something like this, you're going to be farther up on the hammer so you have a little more leverage. Kids should not be down here. A, it's going to go flying across the room, and B, you don't have as much leverage to get finish nail work done. So again, I would go back and just, before you start peeling off your paper, I would be making sure that all of my nails are in there. They're protected. And I'm just going to bring that back up here. And this is pretty easy. This one, it took Maisie a little bit longer, depending on how detailed your design is. Ripping off your paper might take a little bit longer. I'm going to try and do this rather than super a little more detailed so that I can get it all off in maybe one try. So I do recommend, if it's original artwork and it's something that your kids like or that you like, do 2 copies of it. You can easily print out a design too, and you're just, if it's a logo or a team, a sports team, something like that, then I would just print it straight off of your printer. Again, you can freestyle it, you can trace off of something else, or you can print it off of your printer. Your design, but again, if it's original art and you don't want to lose it, you want 2 copies of this. So again, depending on how, this is a little bit detailed in the middle, and this is also why you have those nails well nailed in, which is gonna help you once you get to the step of doing your art with your twine, because once you start doing that, it could pop your nails too. So it's just a good way of making sure that everything is nicely in there from a nailing perspective, and you've got good coverage. So I'm almost done with this. Willa did mention last night that, you know, we're Ohio State fans in our household, so this M looks very much like Michigan, their big rival. So any Michigan fans out there, this one's for you. Our Ohio State fans probably are a little upset with us right now, but this is also M for Maisie, or M for Mom. Mother's Day is coming up, so shout out to all those moms. So again, now you can really see some of the different imperfections here, and if I needed to go back and fine tune any of these or hammer in a couple, I think I'm good. So I'm just gonna pick out, I'm gonna use the purple, or actually I'll use our multicolor on this one. I just had this laying around from our last project that we did with you all. And you're just gonna tie. So to start out with, I'm just gonna tie in the corner. It's really not as important. I wouldn't start tying in the middle of your project. I mean, you can see we take it all over the place, and it's up to you. You could do something very, what is it, geodesic? What are those machines that do it where that's an actual pattern? You know, when it's like the spirograph. I think you can get really technical with this. I am clearly not a technical person, so you will not see me doing that. I like the whatever comes to you spur of the moment, but I'm literally just tying this a couple of times so that it doesn't come unraveled on me. We'll cut that later at the end, and then you start. So again, it's up to you kind of what directions you want to take, and
we have a suggestion for a triathlon one.
Oh, a triathlon one. Yes, we could easily do a run, bike, swim, right? What's funny is I saw this would be a cool medal holder. So for the triathloners in the bunch, for sure, we all love to do our medals. So you could easily do one of the pictures of bike, swimmer, and you know, running, or some kind of running shoe, and then have the holders at the bottom. So maybe we'll do that for our next project. I thought about that holder. We could easily do that. Good suggestion. I mean, really, you could do anything with this stuff. That's the cool part, is it's up to you and your imagination how detailed. I know the state ones are really popular right now, so you can always go online and get the outline of your state with a little heart in the middle, and you make your string art around that. And I'm not gonna do the whole thing. It would probably take me, this all in, like to do the heart last night, to do the nailing was about 15 minutes, just because I did a bunch of nails. And then to do the string was maybe another 10-15 minutes. So I'll save you the pain of having to watch me do this all. But what I do like to do, and I suggest you do it, is here. I'll just go ahead and do the outline. First and foremost, on the string technique, I like to go around twice just so it's got a nice coverage there. And then do the outline of yours. I'm going in and out. You know, if I wanted to be really clean, I would do it like I did here, which was keeping it on the outside and just loop, 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 loop around. This one's a little more free form, but I like to make the outline first and then go back and make whatever cool patterns that's inside. We'll finish this one off and post it to Instagram for you and show you what we did. I want Willa to take this on. She's doing her online classwork right now for 8th grade, like so many of our kids watching and friends out there. We hope that's going well for you all. We hope you get some time for fun like this. Fun projects help make a good break in your day, for adults too. This is a good mental clarity break, right? When you have all those Zoom calls and crazy stuff going on for our new digital life. So I'm going to finish this so you can at least see her outline of her M. And again, this is super simple. That's why I love this for kids. I was not super smart on my strategery here for my yarn, because you can see it's a hot mess. If I was more like Maisie, I would be a little more detail oriented with that and keep it nice and clean. So I would pay attention to your yarn pattern here. And this one is definitely a freeform M. And for kids, I feel like it's a little bit of geometry because it's like solving a puzzle, right? I think puzzles are big right now too. People's houses. Suddenly there's this resurgence in puzzles. I love that. Using your brain, using your hands, using your creativity, using things around your house, super, super important to us. This is all basic stuff. Again, all in, you know, if I had to buy anything on this, I had to buy nails. And that was some total maybe $3 for a box of nails. I had the yarn, I had scrap wood, and maybe I'm a little different than most people. I have a lot of scrap wood that's donated to us for She Built the City. But this is a really low cost project that, you know, is super cool to be hanging in your room or to do as a Mother's Day gift or Grandmother's Day gift, especially since we're not really getting out of our homes right now. And that's important, right? Is to be remembering our family members right now. It's Easter, maybe you do an Easter egg version. So I'm going to just show you this one so you can see. This is very Willa, by the way, so she could actually make a W. But this is an M, and I did my outline here. So we'll go back and fill that in for you and post it to Instagram. Maisie, how are you doing on yours?
Good.
On the Eiffel Tower. You want to show what you got? So here's Maisie's Eiffel Tower. She could go back in with a Sharpie afterwards and kind of decorate what's the background of like a skyline in there. She could have done a smiley face or a happy face or done Paris, you know, in the script. So yeah, have fun with this. Again, your end result, you want to make sure you have some filler in here like we did last night. I was a little heavy on it over here. Again, you can be as perfect as you want or as specific as you want. Freeform it. We could have taken another color of yarn like the purple and done it on the inside, or I could have done it on the outside just to give it some effect. But there's so many different things you can do with this. We love string art, and I know we've had a request from our friends at Dottie Rose Foundation. I think we're gonna make your logo for you. So we'll do a pattern for you, and once we can meet again, we can give that to you for your workshop. So have fun with this, be creative. Again, tag us in your pictures, direct message us with any questions, and blast. Really, really excited to see what you do with your creativity. So have fun with string art. See you next time.